Well, it looks like we have started. I am very excited, and I'm excited to see the attendees. So far, we have friends to the show, as I like to call them, Fred Richardson and Nina Sinclair. Welcome. And we will also be having our friends joining us over on Fly Nubian Queen on YouTube. And I'm excited. First of all, let me say welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the Black Business School for having me yet again host another conversation. Thank you also to Chanel. Chanel is just everything. She is the wind beneath our wings here with all of this. So thank you. Thank you once again. And James Keller is back. Hello, Mr. Keller. Latanya Turman. We also have Sharon Gray and Mike Morgan. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I will, by the way, acknowledge comments. And if you have questions for our guest today, make sure that you ask questions, make comments, because I like to acknowledge those too. And let's get into an hour of fantastic conversation. So you all know, if you've already watched me, that, oh wait, I didn't introduce myself. Did I? All right, let's go. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Dr. Tachi. I'm a media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist, and happy to be hosting this conversation today with this wonderful young lady next to me. This is Tiffany Harvey, and I am actually going to let her give us her, because I don't like to sit there and read a whole resume. So if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself and welcome.
Thank you for having me tonight, first of all. But yes, I'm Tiffany Harvey. I am a naval officer in the Navy Reserves, been in for 18 plus years. I'm a contracting and supply officer, as you call it. In my civilian career, I'm the Chief of Acquisitions and Policy at Department of Interior. I'm a single mother to a beautiful 5-year-old son who keeps me very busy. But then also I am the CEO of TL Harvey Investments, where I focus and my passion is, providing small and medium-sized businesses government consultation for government contracts. Anybody who wants to come in and get into business with the government, to help break up those myths and those rumors of we don't like to give, businesses to only to large companies. So that is my passion after doing this for 18 years, is really to show small businesses and to really help them understand how and maintain and manage government contracts. But also I have two more businesses under that LLC, Pick Your Sweet Poison, where I'm a mixologist. I turned a hobby into a business. Yes, so my passion is to really show women how to make mocktails and cocktails from the comfort of their home, to really enjoy and have fun when they go into the store and buy white, brown, it don't matter what type of liquor, but I want them to feel so comfortable, just like going out to buy a new pair of shoes. And then finally, I'm speaker and writer, motivational speaker. I'm now for the last couple of years learning to tell my testimony and provide, anybody with the support and the tools that they need when life kind of throws a monkey wrench in our plans unexpectedly. And sometimes we just don't know how to conquer certain storms. So I just been now sharing my story and, writing a devotional and other things is really just hoping to spread hope, joy, and inspiration at this point.
That's absolutely phenomenal. My first thing is, what don't you do? Number one. Clearly, clearly, but I'm sure you'll start a business, figure out a way to do that too. So many things. And again, let me remind the audience, if you have any questions or any comments, make sure you put them in the chat. That's on YouTube, and that is here also in the Zoom chat so that we can get them answered for you. Anya Juan Risco is here. Hello, hello. And Tiffany Harvey says, feel free to add your comments to the chat set to everyone. And that is a good thing. Make sure that it is set to everyone so that we can all see them. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's talk about this. I'm going to start right with this balance. Sometimes, well, many times, people have a lot of, what is the saying? Plates in the air,
Yeah.
irons in the fire, so whatever the thing is, they have a lot of things that they're balancing, and something is amiss. Something happens. How do you prevent that from happening? How do you bring excellence to every business venture that you work on, even though you have many things going on?
First, I don't start a business without knowing God gave me that vision to one. And if I can't achieve it, I won't do it. So I don't ever take on anything that I know I cannot do 100%. If I can't give my all to it, my time, my passion, I will not do it. That's one, that's first off. When it comes to the balance, it's really about setting my day. I know exactly what I'm going to do from the moment I wake up, but to the moment I go to sleep. And it's not all work. I really do set time for me, self-care, soul care. I have to put that apart. If I want to stay focused and give everything I do 100%, I have to make sure I'm rested. I have to make sure I'm, working out or I'm relaxed. So I do find a lot of time just for me. I have a rule. After 9 o'clock, there's no work in my room. I don't take work to my bedroom. That is something that's a rule I have because my room is for me to relax. It's for me to unwind. It's not a workspace. So anywhere else in my house is considered a workspace, but my bedroom. Yes.
So is that something that you would recommend to others, to have separate spaces for work, for eating, for whatever the case would be, to differentiate what tasks happen there? Would you recommend that?
Yeah, that's 100%. I would recommend always have something for you. And that's one thing I think in this world, we get lost in everyone else and everything because we're trying to make everyone happy. We're trying to grow our business. We're trying to take care of our kids. We're trying to make our, employees and our supervisors happy. But sometimes we lose ourselves and get wrapped up in what we think that is important, but at the end of the day, you're going to get burnt out and you're not going to be happy doing anything. So I've learned my bedroom, that's a no work zone. I don't take my computer in there. I don't do anything from my bedroom. That is time for me just watch a movie, have a glass of wine, just relax, whatever I feel like doing that I need to unwind, that's what I do. And I will 100% recommend that to everyone. Make a space in your home because your home is, that's where we spend a lot of time. That's supposed to be our happy place. That's supposed to be the place where we are comfortable and at peace. So even if you have kids, you work, if it's the bathroom, that's fine. Just have a place where you could go in, close the door, and you could kind of unwind and relax and find your happy place. 100%.
Excellent. 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 And as we are going on, I just wanted to let everyone know to once again feel free to add comments and questions. What's easier is if you put it in the actual dedicated question box. If you are here on Zoom, you could just put it in the chat on YouTube. But if you put it in the chat either way, I will see it. So I just wanted to say that. So let's talk about, so this whole thing is like looking at, so the title of this is actually Tiffany Harvey, Conquering the Storm, Practical Steps to Overcoming Life's Trials.
Yes.
What trials did you have to overcome?
Wow. I mean, I've had two major ones, but the most current one, I was the happiest day of my life, I think was on my 34th birthday. The man I was truly in love with, I only gave my heart to one man and he asked me to marry him. But we was married for 3 years. And shortly after we got married, things started to change. Um, Little slowly, I started noticing things. He would come home at night later and later. Communication stopped, intimacy stopped. And no matter how much I tried to talk, I never felt like my voice was heard. I tried going back to therapy to see if that would help us out. that didn't work. I just didn't know what else to do. So I remember, I'm not sure, I'm from the South, and my grandmother used to always say, time apart will make, your heart grow fonder. So I thought in my mind, if I go home, I tell this man, like, hey, let's just take a little time apart so we could come back stronger. All I got was I want a divorce
Mm,
immediately.
mm,
So within 10 days of that conversation, he bought a house and he told me he doesn't want the marriage anymore. I was I was so hurt. I was so angry. I just felt like someone came and punched me in my chest and I did not see it coming. Because I didn't feel
mm.
like we was at a place for divorce after just 3 years, a beautiful house, a beautiful son, great jobs. On paper, we should have been the happiest family. But I didn't think my heart could bleed anymore until I overheard him tell his mom that I was never his queen.
Wow.
A piece of my heart broke that day. Something in me literally broke that day. And I just felt like my whole world was just spinning out of control. And as I was spinning and going into such a dark place, I just remember my apostle preaching said, never allow your heart to harden.
Mm,
And at that moment, I just remember crying hysterically because I was going there. I was allowing this man to harden my heart. And I just remember praying and praying and praying, like, God, please just help me. Don't allow me to lose myself in another man, for a man and his actions, because he doesn't want me anymore. And he clearly says, I needed help, professional help. And at this
mm.
moment, I never thought about seeing a therapist. I was seeing a spiritual therapist and counselor, but I literally had to go get medical help for what had just come into my life. And through me seeing not one therapist, but two, they literally helped me put together a plan to how to conquer what now had just come into my life unexpectedly. And it was a couple things that I had to do that helped me. And one, I had to find peace. And I think a lot of people don't realize when storms and battles come into your life, you have to find a place to go and sit and kind of meditate to understand why the storm is in your life. Before you start making moves and start cussing and fussing and trying to figure out what's going on, you can't do that in the chaos. You can't do that with distractions.
Right.
So if you know about a hurricane, I'm from Florida, and if you listen to the news during a hurricane, they said the eye of the storm. And sometimes we have to walk in the center of the storm to get to the eye because the eye, that's where it's calm.
Mhm, mhm.
We as people, we want to run away from things that are tough and that we don't know, especially a hurricane, a storm, a battle. We don't want to stand and fight, but sometimes you have to. And to be able to fight, you need to find that peaceful place. So that's one of the things that I had to learn, that therapy helped me understand, like, if you're going to make it through the storm and you're going to survive the storm, I had to find peace in the storm. That was
Wow.
one of the topics, one of the things, one of the lessons.
Wow, wow. And it's interesting. I'm glad you said that because even now there's still such quote stigma around going to seek help or seek therapy. The reality is, we always say no person is an island. That also includes your health, right? All aspects of
Yes.
that. So, people are put here for a reason, and these professionals are here to help you through those things. So, especially in our community, in
Oh,
Black communities, there's a huge stigma with that. So I'm really glad to hear you say that you embraced it wholeheartedly. But let me
yes.
ask you, I'm sorry, go ahead. Were you going to say
No, no, no.
something?
I'll just agreeing with you. Yes. I mean, I saw two. I tell people because I needed that spiritual side, but I know I needed that medical side as well. So sometimes you need both. And you just sometimes have to figure out which therapy you need at that time.
Mm, mm. Indeed, indeed. So we have a question from the audience, but before we go there, I do want to kind of follow up with this. So, and I want you to relate it to lessons learned in business. Were there signs with your relationship situation that you saw that you maybe ignored, that looking back, and I know we say hindsight is 2020, but looking back, were there signs that you could have picked up on that may have changed the trajectory of things? And how did you take those lessons learned into business? So hopefully that makes sense.
Yes. So yes, there were um signs. And one of the signs I ignored was the pattern that he had, i.e., paying bills late, i.e., will use his mom's credit card but don't ask first, even though she wouldn't have mind. Like, that's not right. Um, the way he did business and in his finances, those were 100% red signs right there. He wasn't consistent. He would start something, stop it, start something, stop it. And I should have picked up on that, because why? That's what he did in the relationship. He gave up.
Mm,
Correct. So in business, now that I've now started my own business, that's what I say. I'm very consistent. I won't start anything that I know I cannot give my 100% attention to. So now, as I do business, and whoever I'm doing business with, you're going to get fully 100 of everything I do, everything I touch. My finances are in order. My books are in order. Anything, my LLC, my doing business as, all my paperwork for filing trademarks are in order. I would not release anything until I make sure everything is done properly, ran through my attorney, ran through my tax person, preparation person, my finance person. It taught me a lot, being with him, and now how I handle business. Like, if
mm.
you're not consistent, I can't work with you. You cannot do business with me, because what you do in your personal life is what you're going to do in your professional life.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And that's why I asked that, because I mean, I think we've all been through times where we kind of give people a pass. You see red flags, you see red signs. Well, normally they act right, so I'm just going to let that go.
But we give
And
people grace.
really, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And the thing is, I think that we have an intuition. We all have an intuition that something is not right. And so if you feel that, go with it. Go
Mm-hmm.
with it. That's whether it's relationships or in business. And like you said, they often are one and the same, which is why I asked that. So let's take a question from the audience, if you don't mind. Nina has two questions. So we're going to go with her first one first. How would you define resilience, and why is it important when facing life's trials?
That's a good question. One, resilience, and I just look at not giving up. Resilience is you want to push through regardless of what life throws at you, regardless if you understand it or not. You're going to fight. You're going to find that strength to continue to push through regardless. If that's in a relationship, that's in your mental state, protected, that's in finances, business. Resilience is all about not giving up, and look for opportunities and ways to keep going to come out on top for resilience.
Well said. Well said. So she has another question, but I'm
Mhm.
going to make this more specific to you, considering what you just said. So she asks, what mindset shifts can be affected in approaching trials with a more positive outlook? So I'm going to ask, what mindset shifts did you employ to have a more positive outlook?
Honestly, I employed just being, one, forgiveness. For me to
Mm,
get to the mindset shift, I had to want to forgive him and everyone who partake in the departure of the relationship. Once I got to the point where I could forgive him, I was able to now look for joy. And that's where I think one thing we don't do when we're in a hurt place, a storm, a battle, we don't try to find the joy and the joy in why it's really happening. I chose not to be miserable. I chose not to be sad because that would change me. I would not be who I am if I just live just every day just mad and carrying this hate and this hurt. So
mhm,
my
mhm.
mindset was not to go there at all. So I started my day off with affirmations. I started my day off with positive word or a positive song every morning. And I do that to today. I do that. I even started putting on my shirts. I will wear it just because I wanted to remind myself every time I look in the mirror or anything was going on, I had it on my chest. I even
Yeah.
make shirts and sweaters now. I even started doing that now to pass that on to other
Wow.
people. My number one affirmation, and this is the title of my devotion, is I'm built for this.
Mm.
And I would tell myself that every day, even to the day, is I'm built for this. Because if I start there, I know my mind is going to stay in a positive direction. And no matter what comes at me, I'm built for this. You could throw whatever you want at me. I already know God prepared me and built me to handle everything.
I am built for this. I smell a t-shirt in that one.
I have t-shirts and sweaters and merchandise already.
Why did I know? Why did I know? Let me just take a break to welcome everyone in. If you are just joining us, you are in for a treat. And, we're not too far along yet, so I'm glad that you're here. My name is Dr. Tachi. I am the host tonight of this great conversation with Tiffany Harvey, entrepreneur, Navy. Well, you're not a veteran because you're still active, correct?
Correct.
So, active reserve Navy. And also, I have to mention, you are a FAMU Rattler.
Yes, I
I am a
am.
Howard Bison. So don't think because you all won Saturday that something's different, okay?
We still love you. I still love you. Um,
Says you. Anyway. And I happen to live in Florida right now. So oh goodness, just a little HBCU love. It's all love. It's
that
all
trophy looks
HBCU love.
so beautiful on the picture. That trophy they was holding was just lovely.
Don't see. You see what happens when you invite guests into your home and they taunt you like this? That's okay. That's okay. I still love you. I
I love you
still love
too.
you. So we have another Navy person here. Anya Juan Risco is here, a U.S. Navy veteran, retired DAV, Georgetown tax. I'm not sure what that is, but welcome. Thank you for being here. We also on the YouTube side have David M. Crowther joining us. He says hello to everyone. And Indie Radio, hey, somebody I knew that just happened to join. Welcome, welcome over on the Fly Nubian Queen Network. And if you notice, those of you on YouTube, we'd love to have you join our own social platform, the B1 Nation. The link is in the chat. So just go ahead and click and join. We'd love to have you. Nina keeps it coming with the questions. I
Yes.
love it. We love it. So Nina says, how can individuals build and maintain a strong support system to help them through tough times?
For
This is
me, I think
important.
I was lucky. I was
Mm,
truly lucky to have one friends and family who supported me through my journey. A lot of my friends and family have already been through, a lot of major things, and divorce was one of them. Even though we
mm,
going through the same thing, the way you walk in yours, understand it's going to be different. But when it comes to ultimately building that strong system, it's your faith. Your foundation has to be there almost before you go through it, because you're
Mm,
not going to break if you have that strong foundation. So for me, that's the one thing I said my ex, he didn't pay attention to. He didn't understand the foundation, and the women who raised me have already built me. Like, you will never allow a man, you will never allow anyone to break you or disrespect you in your own home. You got married, you could get divorced. It's okay. My grandmother, I love my grandmother, rest in peace.
yes.
She was born, raised in the country of Dillon, South Carolina, and she told me, baby, there's a man on every corner. Cry your eyes out now, wipe your tears, go in the bathroom, fix yourself up, and go and get you another man. That's the support system that I had all the way down to my grandmother said, it's okay to cry. They was there for me to lean on, but they also say, now it's time for you to pick yourself up. They wouldn't let me stay in a dark place. And I think that's the type of people you need around you. And I thank God that he surrounded me with people who literally love me, and they wouldn't let me stay there. And
Mm,
that's what if you're going through anything and you have friends and they're allowing you to stay in a dark place, you need another support system.
mm, mm. Well said.
Yeah.
Let's change trajectory a little bit. Let's talk about some of what you've been able to accomplish in business. Let's talk about the mixology. That is fascinating to me. How did that come about? And how did you know you could turn that into a business?
I didn't know I could turn that into a business. First off, I was doing it since FAMU, college days. Just something we used to do before, we used to go out and have a good time. And then over the years, I just did it for, family and friends. But when I started going through, the divorce, I had friends who would come over, and keep in mind, this was 2020. This was right in the middle of COVID, and they would not let me be alone. They would not let me sit in my house all weekend and just get in my own thoughts in my own head, which was a very dangerous place for me early on. And they would just come,
Mm,
they'll bring the food, and I'll make the drinks. And I had one friend who said, you know what? You have a skill that I don't think you know you have. She said, you're
mm,
making drinks without even looking at a recipe. She's like, you're literally taking a step back. You're looking at the ingredients and you're putting something together just based off vision. And I didn't even know I did that at all. So I literally just looked into it. I said, can I turn this into a business? So I did what I do best, market research. I started doing the market research. I started seeing how many products on the market for cocktail recipe books, for cocktail recipe cards, for apps. Mixology, could I turn it into a business, i.e., in-person classes or virtual classes? And I saw that there was a market, but it was a very small market that I knew I could break into. So I started with cocktail recipe cards, and they're on Amazon to this day, called Pick Your Sweet Poison. All my recipes are geared towards women. I tested each and every recipe. There's a couple classic recipes in there, but I tested every last one to make sure if a woman pick up this card, they're going to be able to follow it, and it's going to be easy and delicious. So I honestly, it wasn't me. It was a good friend who noticed something special in me, and I just did the rest in the research. And once I got confirmation from God, I promise you, this has been the easiest business and journey I have ever been on.
mm. Well, if Bethany Frankel can build an entire uh, you- um, empire off of Skinny Girl, and then she sold it for like millions and millions. So she doesn't even own it anymore. But if she can do that, it's definitely doable. So what is the next step for you in that? Are you trying to use that model of blowing it up to something big, or are you trying to keep it more uh, craft and niche?
No, I'm trying to see where it's going to go. Again, I started with the product. And then once that law, they said, Tiffany, can you show us? So now I do in-person classes and virtual classes. I also do cocktail buffets. And I'm honestly just letting the business go where it's going to go right now because I'm only been in that business for 1 year, and it's thriving, and I love it. But I do want to grow it to it be a brand name and bring in more people to be able to provide these services because it's about making memories. I want people, especially in this environment, let's get together, let's make memories. You don't have to be in the same room with anyone to make great long lasting memories. I do a lot of virtual classes, and they love them. I mean, I just did a bachelorette party, I did a anniversary, a honeymoon, and they like, you know what, we never thought taking a virtual cocktail class would be so much fun.
That's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your devotional. You started to bring it up a little bit now, before, but I want to dig a little bit deeper into it. Why your devotional? Why would somebody need to pick up yours as opposed to any other one that's out there? What's special about yours?
So the devotional, it really is special because Dr. Blackwell, she is a writer. She has multiple books. This is her fifth devotional in her series and her final one. But what she wanted to end this devotional off of bringing 365 authors together. And she hasn't done that before. So this devotional is going to be like no other. You're going to get a different author, personal devotional every single day. So it's not going to be one tone. It's not from one author. We all really had looked inside ourselves and created devotionals for everyone. And that's what makes it so special. It's like, it's not just for if you're sad or happy. It really is to pour into everyone. So regardless if you like to read or not, this devotional is really for if you want to start your day off on a happy note. If you're just living your best life and you like, you know what, I just need a little word. That is what this is for. And a journal comes with it as well. And we wrote an affirmation as well for the journal. So if you're not a
Mm,
writer, that's okay. You could just use it as a manifestation, use it as a vision board. But that affirmation is to pour into you and to it's just to inspire. So you get a different voice. I think that's what's so different. You get a different voice for every day. And it's going to resonate with you different based off the author.
fantastic.
So Doc,
Wonderful,
can we just
wonderful.
take one moment? I just need to
I
grab my,
was just about to say, absolutely, absolutely. Do you? We'll be here when you come back.
thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So, folks, as we are waiting for her to come back, she'll be back shortly. Don't worry. Let me take a minute to introduce myself again. I am Dr. Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist, the host, your host on this journey through conversation on Fly Nubian Queen, and also here with the Black Business School. We're happy to have both of you here. And I want to say hello to some people. And also, Nina Sinclair has another question. And as soon as she comes back, we will get that. And Nina, let me say thank you. You are a great question and asker. Yeah, it's not a word, but I made it one to deal with it. So, but thank you so much for your engagement, everybody in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. Dr. Vibe is here. Dr. Vibe is also a host with the Black Business School. So thank you so much for being here. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Is it Shania? Thank you so much for everything you're putting in there. And Shania has just put, if you've just joined, welcome to the ABNC Reconnect webinar. This is Tiffany Harvey. She is, and we're talking about conquering the storm, practical steps to overcoming life's trials. And she has given some trials and how she's dealt with them thus far. Please make sure you add comments and questions to the chat. Make sure it's set to everyone so that we all see it. I'm guilty of not having things set to everyone sometimes. So make sure that it is set to everyone. so that we can share with the group. And it's easier if you add your actual questions to the Q&A feature so that they don't get mixed in the chat. But I'm also pretty good with looking for them. But it's, if you really want me to see it, make sure you put it in the Q&A feature. On YouTube, you can just put it in the chat. Also, guess what? We have a platform. We have a social platform. We'd love for you to join, and it is the Be1 Nation. For those of you that already know, it is right in the chat. So make sure that you go ahead and do this, and we'll put it in the chat periodically. Also, the replay for this will be available in 48 hours. You can go to the course, the Black Business School lecture series in the Black Business School, and the link is in the chat. So just be sure that you do all of that. And now, after all of that, we have Tiffany back. All right. So, Tiffany, let's continue on. Let's continue on. Um, Faith is obviously such a large part of everything you do. And
Yes.
you've already talked about, the importance of it. What would it, and this is just a hypothetical. How different would your business acumen, would your businesses be if they were not rooted in a faith ethic,
They would have
in your
failed.
opinion?
They would have failed.
Mm,
100%. I've started businesses years ago and not really went to God first to see what they right to start. Um, I wasn't ready to start them at all. So for me, I know what starting a business is and not sitting in it, praying over it, and just think about it first. Or I was that person like, oh, that sounds great. Let me do it. Oh, that sounds like a great opportunity. Let me do it. And they never worked at all. I never went to God before I started any of those business. These here, after everything I went through, I knew that he never left me in the storm. I mean, he had to allow that storm to come because he had to grow me in that storm. He had to develop me in that storm and get me ready for what the path he has set for me. And that path is now I'm being the CEO. I haven't walked away. He has not told me to walk away from my, my civilian job. Let me be clear, because I have a mission over there. And it's really not for me, it's really for my people to continue to pour into them and help them grow and get them to where they need to be in their career. So that's one of the reasons why I'm still there. But in regards to my business that I have, I assure you they would have failed just like the ones in the past, in the past has failed because he wasn't in those businesses. I didn't go to him. I didn't seek him. There was nothing that God said, you need to start XYZ. These here, he gave me the vision, a clear vision that I wrote down and that now I'm executing. And they are flourishing. And they all align with a gift that he gave me.
mm. So basically, you had the vision and God gave you the provision to do it.
Correct. Yes.
Wonderful.
Like that.
Wonderful. Yeah, there you go. You can keep that. So we have this just in. For those of you over on YouTube, we are so appreciative and thank you for joining us. We actually are going to end the live stream on YouTube soon in a few minutes at around quarter to the hour at 9:45. So what we would love you to do is to join us. Just go to b1nation.us and you will be able to join the Zoom room and just access the events page for this event with Tiffany Harvey, and you'll be able to come in here. We'd love to have you over here on Zoom. So join the B1 Nation and then come over here. It's really quick, but we thank you, YouTube, for being here today.
Okay.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we still have some time to go with our wonderful guest for today, Tiffany Harvey. You know what? And so let me, this is, I know we're talking about this, uh but this is related. Even though you went to FAMU, um how did your time at FAMU, being a Rattler, prepare you for all that you have accomplished thus far?
Listen, mm, FAMU prepared me in so many ways. I looking back now, when they say God prepares you for things, that's the reason why you don't break when certain things happen to you.
Hmm.
FAMU literally started that. Because when you get to a HBCU, some things that financially not right.
Mhm,
Financial aid
mhm.
wasn't right. Paperwork wasn't right. Dorm wasn't right. There was a lot of things that was not right. So that started the journey of patience. Having patience when you go to a HBCU, especially, family, I love it. Love the school. Would not change anything, but definitely learned patience going to FAMU. Definitely learned, like, you know what? I need to know where my money going. Where is my money? Holding people accountable for what they promised you definitely started at FAMU. Using my voice and speaking up for myself definitely started at FAMU because I those are things I now use today, especially when you work in a world where a lot of people don't look like you.
Correct.
Your voice could get stifled and shut
Mhm.
down really quickly. You could get pushed to the back of the room and not seen and not heard. And that's where some people want you to stay. I learned at
Absolutely.
FAMU, they taught me that. I don't know if they know they taught me that, but they taught me how to use my voice and when to stand up for myself and when to ask for what is yours that you deserve. Those things and those skills have definitely played a role in my success in my career now.
And there's nothing like an HBCU. I think you can definitely agree. And I have to just anecdotally agree with you because my master's and PhD are from Howard. I did not do my undergrad in an HBCU, was at a
Mhm.
PWI. It was the experience at the PWI that said, oh no, I'm going to Howard for grad school. Come hell or high water, that's what's happening. And honestly, I always tell people that my real college experience did not start until I got to Howard. And I was already a
Mhm.
graduate student at that part up at that point, but it did not start until I got to Howard.
Mhm.
And they are directly responsible for the scholar that I am today. Now, this is no disrespect to anybody who went to a PWI. That's fine. I'm
Correct.
just saying, we're just saying what it did for us.
Yes.
There's something about it. It fosters a level of not just you can do it. It's if you don't do it, you're going to be in trouble, right? Because they've given you every single tool to
Yes.
succeed. And
Yeah.
people notice there's and I wouldn't say an air, but there is a
Swag.
confidence.
Hmm. Yes, there's a different swag about us that we carry
Yes.
when we walk into a room now. When someone asks you, where did you go to school? For me, my chest poke out just a little bit more. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
went to FAMU. I don't even say it out the whole name. No, I went to FAMU. If you don't know what it
Mhm.
is, you can look it up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you already know that Howard people will find a way to what are the soups on the menu? Oh, we had soup at Howard. We will find a way to put Howard in every conversation. So and
Except
I
for
think,
that football game this weekend.
you know what? See, this conversation is about to end really soon. Thank you for coming.
I love you. I had to just throw that one in there real quick.
Oh goodness, I can. It's a little hot in here, isn't it? Anyway,
I can make you a
we're
drink.
going Anyway, here we go. But you found a way to put it in, and I like that. If you are just joining us, we are speaking with the Tiffany Harvey. She's got so many different things going on. And I do want to go back and ask, we didn't really cover the whole thing of military.
Mhm.
And I can kind of guess, I think what your answer would be, but what is it that being a member of the Navy gave you that led to what you have? Why, first of all, why the Navy?
Yeah. Oh, that's easy. They was the only ones that really would accept me as an officer at the time. Let me say that, as a officer at the time. So
But is it, I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but you went into the Navy after you went to FAMU?
yes,
But
yes,
once you have a degree, aren't you automatically eligible to be an officer? This is what I've
exactly.
heard.
No, you're
Okay.
100% right. You are 100% right. A great friend of mine at the time, her mom retired from the Army. And after I graduated FAMU, I didn't do an internship, unfortunately, because my internship would have fell right in between 9/11, where the economy was a
Okay.
little crazy. Nobody was doing paid internships, and I paid for myself to go to school, waitressing. So I could not take a unpaid internship. So when I graduated, I worked at Herbst. I took a job, the first job I could get, and she's like, you could go to any military branch as a officer. So when I started going to the recruiters, Air Force told me my degree, which was an agriculture business degree and a minor in economics, was not good enough. I should have just got either regular business or regular economics. They would not even give me the test to come in to test as an officer. I went to the Army recruiter and he would not talk to me at all about coming in as a officer. He told me I could go enlisted, then switch over after 3 to 4 years. Wouldn't even speak with me. I did not go talk to the Marines. I'm sorry, I love you all, but I was not going to the Marines. So I went to the Navy, and there was a black lieutenant recruiter, and he was the only one that said, "I got you. Come on in. I got you." He was the only one that said, "I'm going to make sure you get in, and I'm going to make sure you wear the uniform." He told me what to study. He told me where to go get the book. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I went and took the test, I did not study. I was at that time like, it's like an ASVAB. Who need to study? I just got a degree. You know, I failed with flying colors because it was not the ASVAB. It was not a SAT. It had a whole bunch of pilot and aviation and all sorts of things
Mm,
I'd never seen before. So come to find out, the Navy at the time, I'm not sure if they still do it now, they had a different test for officers. That's why he told me to go study. Yes. So I said, okay, I'm gonna buckle down and I'm gonna study. Again, I was waitressing. I didn't want to pay. I think it was like $35 for a book at Barnes and Nobles at the time. So I hid it every night. I used to hide the book for a week straight. I went and just studied, and I went back and took it. And I actually scored so high, they wanted to pick me up as an NFO, a backseat pilot.
wow.
That's what I was first selected as, to come into the Navy. Um, I couldn't do that. I said, "Oh no, can't no. I don't want that. I want to be business. I want logistics." So thank God I was able to resubmit a package, resubmit everything, and was able to get picked up as a supply officer in the Navy. So Navy actually chose me. Navy actually chose me. I don't think and I tell people, I said, I don't think I chose the Navy. The Navy chose me. God put me where I needed to be. He allowed that door to open.
Mm, fantastic. All right. Well, for those of us, we're still going to keep going, but for those of you on YouTube, unfortunately, we are going to end the stream right now. If you are wanting to continue with the rest of the conversation, remember to go to be1nation.us and look for this conversation in the course list, and you'll be able to join us here in the Zoom room. We thank you so much for being here, and we will see you hopefully, if not in the Zoom room, we'll see you on the next conversation. Cheers, YouTube. And as YouTube is getting ready to end, I think they're ending now. Yes. All right. So, friendly reminder, make sure that your comments and your questions are set to everyone so that we can all see them. And then also make sure you put your questions in the Q&A box so that I will see them. And it looks like we have some questions. So let's go to Dennis Williams' question. And he asks, Tiffany, did you journal during the time going through your hardship?
Yes, I did. That's actually when I started journaling. And it took almost a year into therapy before I even started. Growing up, I was not the best writer, reader. That was literally for me my core subject. I was a math, science type of person. So when my therapist, both of them was like, they wanted me to write. And I was like, no, I fought them for a whole year, thinking that somebody would pick up my journal and read it like, what did she write? Can she write? I would have a more of a fear of writing, thinking somebody will pick it up one day, not looking at it as it's going to help me like my therapist wanted. So one day my apostle was he was running, I can't remember what it was, but he just wanted us just to write down a prayer just every day and something we are praying for. And I just started there. And that turned into me now. My one sentence prayers actually turned to a prayer for God, excuse me, that I wanted to happen. Something that I was going through during that time, i.e., God, can you please show me how to get through this pain without losing myself? They were actually now, my journals became prayers to God. So I almost have like 2 or 3 journals now that have evolved. So when it was time to write my devotional, I really just went back through my journals to see what stuck out. And the main thing that stuck out to me was strength.
Hmm.
I think almost every journal I was praying for strength like Joshua. I was praying for faith like Moses. There were certain things I noticed a pattern. Like I was looking at the Bible and I was like, I want that character. God, just give me just a little bit of that character. And that's how my, journals became turned into my devotional, which turned into I'm built for this, the affirmation that I continue to repeat. So it
Hmm.
it definitely helped release something in me, my journaling.
Great. Journaling can be very therapeutic, so I see why that was part of your journey. And speaking of affirmations, Dr. Vibe asks some of your favorite affirmations. I mean, besides you're built for this,
Mhm.
what are some others?
Oh goodness. I think one was I'm a queen. Know you're a queen. Straighten out your crown and wear it proudly. That is one of the ones I repeat as well a lot to myself, just to remind myself that it doesn't matter what anyone do to you. God made one of you and he made you a queen. So be proud of the crown you wear. Another one is just one word, unbreakable.
Hmm.
Just I'm unbreakable. Not all affirmations need to be long. They just need to be meaningful to you. And the last one for me was fly like an eagle, soar like a phoenix.
Hmm. Are these things that you repeat to yourself frequently? Are they things that you have maybe around your space? How do you infuse them into your daily life?
So the Phoenix, I actually put that on my vision board. So every year when I make a vision board, I have a quote, but I also pick a symbol. And so this year's symbol was a phoenix because I said I want to rise through this fire, through this storm like a phoenix. And when you see me, you were like, wow, you would never know I went through anything. So that was my animal. And I actually turned the phoenix into my symbol for TL Harvey Investments. So if you go to my website, you'll see the symbol of a phoenix now is represented on my business. Then I do have them around my house. I do keep things around my computer as sticky notes and when my son don't come and snatch them off. But it's a reminder. And I think affirmations should be a daily part of our lives. Only because again, for me, it's helped me start my day off right. Like they say, prayer helps you start your day off right. But I know everybody's not a praying person, and that's okay. But just saying something positive to yourself, I think that helps us get in that mindset to start our day off that is going to be better. You know, you're going to leave your house more in a brighter, happier self. Then you just wake up and like, oh, I just need my coffee. I'm dragging today. That's how you want to start your day. Then that's how your day is going to go. For me, I just learned, regardless of what I'm going through, if I started off with an affirmation and a positive thought, my day is so much better. And my coworkers, they love me for that too, because it
I could
spills
see
over.
absolutely, absolutely. But you seem like a positive person anyway, so I'm sure they love you for that, despite any of that. Or in addition to, I should say. So, James Keller says, "Thank you. I needed that affirmation." So you never know who you touch when you say these things. So that's
Right.
amazing. I'm glad it was helpful, James. So I want to talk, we're getting ready to actually wind down. Uh, what what's next for Tiffany? Where are you going next? What in the next, I'm not even going to go 5 years out. In the next 2 years, where will Tiffany Harvey be?
In the next 2 years, I will be retired from the Navy Reserves after 20 years.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yes. After 20 years, so June 1st, 2025, I will be retiring from the Navy Reserve. That will be 20 years. I will still be working with the Department of Interior. I absolutely do love my job that I do there, and I love my team that I've built. So I would not leave them um, for anyone. Not right now. Not to God said I need to move. Um, Business wise, it's just really to grow. I want to grow each and every one of my businesses because I want to leave a legacy for my son.
Hmm.
That's why I'm working so hard and I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not just for me, but it's really for him and show him that, you know what, no matter what life throws at you, and it's going to throw things at you, you can come over top and be better after you go through what you go through. So life doesn't have to stop you. You can succeed and be better. And that is what I'm trying to show him and leave him.
Great legacy to leave. And thank you for leaving us with a little bit of your legacy today. If people want to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
You could go to TL Harvey at tlharveyinvestments.com. That is my landing page. That would take you and give you information on government contracting consulting. It could take you to my Speak with Tiffany website where you can find merchandise as well as the devotional to pre-order. And it'll also take you to Pick Your Sweet Poison. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Pick Your Sweet Poison, as well as YouTube, as well as Speak with Tiffany.
Now, okay, I can't leave without asking this one thing. government contracts, because we didn't even have time to get into that today, but government contracts, what is the key for somebody who is looking to get government contracts? Is there some sort of tip that you can leave with us, or tipses?
So first thing first, if you have an LLC or business, go to sam.gov. Write that down. That is your almost your Bible, I want to say website. That's where we do all business. That's where first thing, go get registered. It's free. It's free to become and get registered to become a federal government contractor. You can get registered in almost 72 hours. A lot of people don't know that. It's free, get registered. After that, then apply for go to your SBA and apply for either women-owned certification, veteran-owned certification, minority-owned certification. You're not paying for these things. Once you cross that hurdle, go back to sam.gov, whatever services you provide, and you want to know if the government needs those services, just type it into the search. Janitorial, photography, shipbuilding, whatever it is. And guess what? Everything's going to come up. You're going to see every government agency who's asking for that particular requirement. Start there. Understand what they need. Then you start building out your capability statement. Then you look for the open solicitations. If you don't know how to write a solicitation, honestly, seek help. Small Business Association, people like me, we will help you. There is no secret formula. I know a lot of people advertise it. There is not a secret formula. I've been doing this for 18 plus years. It's all we ask for is you answer in your proposal, answer the solicitation correctly. That's it. That's all we're asking for. Nothing else. Just follow what they're asking for.
Follow what they're asking for. Okay, that's very useful. And you said that the website is sam.gov?
Sam.gov,
SAM? Okay.
SAM.gov. That's your website for
Sam.gov.
everything. Correct. Go
Okay.
get registered, and you can go in and type in and see all the solicitations. I mean, this is for all government. That we only could use one website. So if someone says, hey, go to this website, no, we use one website. That's the website. Go in there and just look, browse, and see, oh, I could do that. Okay, you can. Put your proposal together and just follow the directions. Do not deviate from the directions the government is telling you, because if you do, guess what? We will not even review your proposal. We're going to find it technically unacceptable. Yes.
So follow directions. If you don't follow directions ever, do it with this.
Correct. And I'm going to give you the $1 million tip that most people don't know.
Okay.
If you do not win, contact the CEO, contact the contracting officer and ask why. We are mandated to tell you why. I.e., a lot of people think that they don't win because it's lowest price technically acceptable, and the other person won because they had the lowest price. You may not have won because your proposal was not technically acceptable. It has to be technically acceptable first before we look at the price. You will never know that if you never ask the question to the contracting officer. So always go back, ask the question to the contracting officer. Can you please tell me why I did not win? And they're going to tell you, your proposal was not technically acceptable. These are the areas you need to fix. That way, when you go back and resubmit, you can fix the errors.
Excellent. Always ask. Well, that is priceless. Thank you. So if you got nothing else today, you were inspired and you were informed and maybe a little bit entertained. But Tiffany, thank you so much. It was so good to have you. Wonderful information. This was just great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
And
having me.
absolutely. And before we go, let me go back again to remind you that this conversation will be ready in 48 hours for your reviewing pleasure. You'll be able to see the replay. You're going to go to the Black Business School lecture series in the Black Business School, which is theblackbusinessschool.com, and there's a whole long link after that. So make sure you visit that. Make sure you join us on our own social platform. Did you know we have one? Now you do. Be One Nation. So you're going to go to beonenation.us, and the link is in the chat as well. So make sure you join us, because that allows you to join in the conversation on the Zoom room. That's where you want to be. And let me say thank you again to Shania, and thank you to, I hope I'm saying your name right. Please forgive me if I am not. Thank you again to Shania for putting things in the chat, reminders in the chat, and Chanel for making this whole thing run. So with that, we are going to, and thank you to everybody who watched. It's because of you that we do this. So we love you for watching. And until next time, we bid you adieu. Cheers, guys.